Speaking from my perspective, obviously this type of thinking isn't going to work for everybody. Some people love competition and that fuels them, that gives them meaning and purpose for what they're doing, and that's awesome if it works for them. But for me, I don't like to compete with other people. With the way I think, it seems that when you're competing with other people, you're limiting yourself to that comparison. And I don't like to have, I guess, a benchmark in a way. I just want a limitless growth with myself. You can call it competing with yourself, but the way I look at it is really, I don't like the term, be the best you can be every single day. I just don't like that pressure added onto you. It's like, okay, so now I'm looking to hold myself to this idea of being best. When in reality, I'd rather just appreciate something in the deepest, most creative way I can and convince myself towards that appreciation so then I can run on that in order to be a better version of myself. Or I don't even really think about it as being better, I just think of it as growing in whatever interests I decide to pursue. And this puts me at a position of just not having that weight on me, and it puts me at a position of not limiting myself to what other people are doing, or not modeling what I do after their successes or anything like that, because that's just more insecure positioning, letting what other people do in life and the success that other people achieve in life, you're going to let that affect your world, your reality, what you have going on, the growth that you're going through. To fuel growth, it doesn't have to come from that competitive aspect. It can simply just come from appreciating something so much that you want to do it in a better, more growth enabling way each and every day. So, and I apply that to my work life. I'm in software sales, so it can get super competitive with people in the office, but I just, instead of wasting my energy on that competitive aspect and trying to run on that as fuel and pressure and getting stressed and needy about the situation, I just looked at how I go about my workflow and forming a sales pipeline, and how can I go about my day to outreach to prospects. I'm in inside sales. How can I outreach to prospects in such a way that optimizes my energy efficiency, my effectiveness, getting quality meetings, and things like that. But just appreciate the process of how I can set that up, and and um, and just keep growing with myself and get to a level and understand how much I need to do to make a certain amount and be comfortable with that, instead of just pressuring myself every single month to be the best in the office. And I mean, I am a top performer in the office, and I don't have to model it by other people, because it goes back to that limitless, without the comparison, it's just limitless scope there. You're limitlessly growing with yourself, and the whole world is your fucking oyster when you do that shit. But hey, if you like comparison, I guess I would just challenge how much of your mental and how much of your personal value are you associating with that competition, and what you're invested in life. And it's not bad to have competition at all. You don't need to be all or nothing. It's a balance at the end of the day. And I love to have competition sometimes, but whenever I compete with people, I don't really get my ego involved. I don't get my self-worth involved. I don't subject myself to that way of thinking, because I don't want my happiness and the way I validate myself to be rested solely in competition with others and people showing me up. Like, somebody could, I mean, I do Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. I can get I can get fucked around all day, but it's not gonna hurt my ego. I'm just gonna look at it and learn the process, understand in true value, and focus my attention and energy on how I could have conducted myself in a better way to have avoided that situation, as opposed to getting my ego involved of, oh, I lost, I'm defeated, or whatever. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, goddamn. I mean, that's for another post, but that just goes down this wormhole of internal and external validation and how much you just should have in life. But yeah, I mean, just to circle back, it's a balance. So compete with other people if that fuels you in a very positive way, but also have that balance of just really just caring about competing with yourself or just growing with yourself and appreciating things. I feel like that's really gonna help enable a more prosperous existence in a way, and just how effective you are and how you live, your happiness, your security, your confidence as a person. Now back on you, what do you think about this concept? How much do you compete with others? How much do you think about it? How much do you associate your worth and what you have going on? Do you feel, oh man, another fucking thing is, people, they get so specialized in something because they want to be great at it, because that's how they feel like they can distinguish themselves. But that just seems like external validation right there. I'm not, like I was alluding to with my work, I know how much I need to do to get a certain result, and I don't always go over that. I'm not trying to be the best in my office because I'm not too invested in that. I'm invested in multiple different areas, and you're able to do that when you're not externally validated by this comparison, because you can create your own portfolio for how you live life. I don't need to be the best Muay Thai fighter. I don't need to be the best in jiu-jitsu. I don't need to be the strongest power lifter. I don't need to be the best aesthetic bodybuilder, but I do all these things because I'm growing in all of these things, and because I'm invested in so many different outlets, because I don't care about the comparison. I just love all these interests, and I want to limitlessly grow in all of them at a consistent rate. So yeah, but okay, back on y'all. What do you think about this? How much do you have of one or the other? In your mental capacity day to day. How do you disassociate the two? What works for you? Some people just fucking love competing with others. They wake up and that fuels them. They just love the fucking idea of being the best in the office, and they like that pressure, and they like that, I guess, the stress, or maybe it's not stress to them, that comes with it. And that's great. If you have that competitive nature, fucking do it, man. As long as it's positive for you and others, fucking compete. That's awesome.